Yes, hello and welcome everyone to the inside of my Disastrovan version 2 project. Disastrovan is a 1996 all-wheel drive Chevy Astrovan project that I've turned into this log cabin on wheels that you see before you today. Topic conversation, why I don't cook in my van. I'll give you some examples and some reasons why I don't, and then also show you how I do. So let's begin. The entirety of my kitchen setup is external. You may notice I don't have anything which is dedicated to the kitchen setup inside, so I don't have a countertop to do any kind of food prep. I don't have a stove which is built in. I have a tiny little sink in back, but I don't really use that for cooking. It's more for hand washing, and I don't have shelves or drawers which are dedicated to the kitchen. But what I do have is a system which I'm able to take anywhere that I go. It doesn't matter if it is in the desert and it's dusty. It doesn't matter if it's pouring rain or if it's hailing or if it's snowing. I have a dedicated outdoor system which can withstand pretty much anything that is thrown at it. And that's my Pelican 1510 case that I have as my kitchen mess kit. I'll do an entire video about that later, but this allows me to carry everything that I need, all my pots, pans, dishes, utensils, coffee, salt and pepper and other herbs and spices. Everything can live in there. It's moisture proof, it's dust proof. It is an amazing system. And it's something that I can take outside, and it doesn't matter what the weather conditions are like. Everything is going to be pretty much protected as long as it's shut. I can open, grab things, shut it. I can use the Pelican actually as a surface to house everything, so I can put a cutting board on there and cut things and prep if I need to, but my system is entirely external. That gives me the freedom to be able to have a van where all the things that I need are in shelves, except for things that need to be external. So I can just grab the Pelican case and move it outside. I can grab one of my Gorilla ladder aluminum metal bench things, bring that outside, and I can also bring my cooler outside. And everything is sealed, nothing's going to rust. It's actually a pretty great system. So that being said, there is one thing that exists on my shelf that is dedicated to a kitchen setup. And this is something if I want to cook really quickly. Let's say that I wake up in the morning, and instead of putting out my big Coleman stove, which I have in here, I also have the Jetboil Minimo. It's an awesome stove option. Everything fits inside of it. So right here, there's actually a little footprint that you can, a literal like feet that you can put onto the stove canister. Inside of here is both the fuel as well as the stove itself. Fuel and burner. This screws on under here. You can put the feet on it. And then this sits upon here, and then here's your lid. So you have this entire dedicated system, which if I need just add water or meals, or if I wake up in the morning and just want to make some coffee, I don't need to bust out the entirety of my set, and I can just use this. And what's great about this is I take this hiking as well. It's lightweight enough that I can take it on ultralight backpacking trips, and it's remarkable. I love this system and setup. It can't be really any easier. One thing that I do love about it as well is that it's not built into the system in a van. So there's a lot of people that I know that actually have dedicated kitchen setups in the back of their vehicle, which are pretty cool. Like the back door will have a table that'll pop up, and you have a big long drawer that you can pull out, and it has your cook stove, and it has all your utensils and everything. It's all nestled nice and neat. Problem that I have with this, especially in an Astro van with a 3-part system, and I don't know if many people know this, but when you open that back door and you have it open and it's raining, the rain just comes pouring right in onto my mattress. So I would need to devise some kind of tarp system to put over that to be able to utilize everything. For me personally, I have an awning off the side of the van. I can just engage it, put it out, and can go and cook if I need to. But in the mornings, even if I don't want to do that, this can just sit out in the rain. I can just put it together and throw my water in and get a boil going, and then I can have either my oatmeal and raisins or other just add water meals, and then instant coffee. Cleanup is absolutely minimal or something like this, and I don't need to have a dedicated system where I'm adding excess moisture into the van or having a system that goes out the back, which would require putting up an extra tarp and stuff so that my inside of my van doesn't get compromised. With a system like this, I can easily just boil water really quickly and be able to eat, have coffee, etc. without needing to go through the hassle of setting up a lot of stuff. When I'm cooking, I have the entire Coleman setup. So I got my Coleman stove, I got pots and pans, I got all utensils and everything, cutting boards and knife. You can create an entire meal if you want to using that method if you have more setup time and have a place that you can do it. And it's great because it all fits under the awning. So it doesn't matter what the weather is, I can go outside and I can cook and have a lot of space to be able to prep and eat if I need that experience. And then if not, I can turn to this and yeah, make it a really minimal footprint. So in my opinion, actually, being able to have a way to cook outside is almost more flexible than having a dedicated system inside. Because in here, I can go for months with 2 people, and you're pretty much looking at what our footprint would be. We have the availability of excess space because the storage itself, from under the bed to the bookcase here to the shelving system over here, everything can be put in its place. And it keeps everything really nice and organized, so you can just grab what you need to and then put it back if you need to. And that's what's great about the Pelican case too. You can pull it out, grab what you need, utilize it, and put it right back. And it's not a built-in part of the system. I can take it out and utilize it for other functions if I need to. Works really great. So that's another reason why it actually provides a lot of flexibility, and it gives me different ways that I can cook outside regardless of weather situations. I have worked enough food service jobs over the course of my life. I've put together deep cleaning teams for different restaurants to go in and clean things like vent hoods. Vent hoods are the forced air component that are above the stove, induction oven, etc., so that when you're boiling water or you're cooking something up with oil, all of that steam and vaporized oil goes up into the ventilation shaft and outside of the building so it doesn't accumulate in your cooking environment. This is one reason that I don't cook in my van. When you clean out vents, oh man, they are one of the most disgusting parts of the kitchen experience, in my opinion. Everything that you're boiling or the oil that you're cooking with just vaporizes and goes up into that. If you're cooking with oil, that oil in the pan actually vaporizes and goes as well. So even though you might be, putting everything through your fan and through your vent up here, it's going to accumulate on the rim. It's going to accumulate in the fan. It can accumulate on the lid. And then you're sleeping with that inside of your vehicle. And here in the Pacific Northwest, the entirety about van builds, one of the biggest concerns is how to manage moisture control. If you're in a vehicle like I am right now and you're breathing, you're exhuming moisture. And so what you need to do is have vents open or windows cracked to be able to prevent condensation and excess moisture buildup, not only on the wood itself, but behind it. Everything follows the path of least resistance. So if you're in here breathing and you don't have this cracked enough, the moisture has to go somewhere. It can seep between the wood, it can seep into the wood, it can get behind things, into your insulation. So for me personally, I don't cook in my vehicle because I don't want to have a situation where I'm adding excess moisture and oil vapor particulates into my build. And finally, the last reason why I don't cook inside is because of fire and carbon monoxide poisoning possibilities. Now, anytime that I bring this up to someone that's cooked in their vehicle, it's the same evidence of, oh, I've done this for 10 years and I've never had a problem. Well, that's great. I'm so happy that that's been your experience. The reason that I don't do it in here is the same reason I'm kind of hesitant at lighting candles in my house when I know that I've got other things to do. Because I've had even situations where I'm cooking outside, where I forget that I'm cooking because I see a sunset and I'm just captured by that sunset for like 3 minutes, and all of a sudden a raccoon has ran off with my food. That might not happen in here. I hope that you're not letting raccoons into your vehicle build, but the possibility of fire is very real with an open flame. The possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning without having fresh airflow, constant fresh airflow, is a possibility. It's just not something that I want to expose myself or my build to, because that can be disastrous. And I know people that have cooked for a very long time in their vehicles, they've never had that problem, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. So just for the safety aspect, I take any open flame activity and I go outside with it. I don't mess around with that in here. I've spent way too much time building out the vehicle that I need to give it a little bit more respect for that, in my opinion. And remember, this is my opinion, not your opinion. So, put your fist down. Don't get ready to fight me here. I'll probably agree with you regardless. It's just how I feel, and that's fine. But yeah, in the end, I decided to cook outside my vehicle for multiple reasons. So I hope that this has provided you a different way to be able to potentially think about the cooking experience inside of your vehicle or outside of your vehicle. And yeah, that's about it. Feel free to stick around and check out other videos that I have. More things coming talking about Disastrovan. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed and learned something potentially positively, maybe, baby. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.